អបអរសាទរឆ្នាំសិក្សាថ្មី2020-2021សាលា E-School Cambodia សូមជម្រាបជូនដំណឹងដល់សិស្សានុសិស្សអាណាព្យាបាលនិងមហាជនទូទៅឲ្យបានជ្រាបថាការសិក្សាតាមអនឡាញក្នុង App E-School មកដល់ពេលនេះមានអ្នកប្រើប្រាស់ចំនួន1លានអ្នកហើយក្នុងនោះមុខវិជ្ជាជាច្រើនត្រូវបានរៀបចំជាង200ថ្នាក់ច្រើនជាង20000វីដេអូថ្នាក់ចំណេះដឹងទូទៅពីថ្នាក់ទី1ដល់ថ្នាក់ទី12ថ្នាក់ភាសាបរទេសថ្នាក់កុំព្យូទ័រថ្នាក់ជំនាញខ្លីដើម្បីបងប្អូនទទួលបានការសិក្សាបន្ថែមនៅផ្ទះតាមអនឡាញ E-School Cambodia នឹងធ្វើការបញ្ចុះតម្លៃពិសេស 70% គ្រប់មុខវិជ្ជាចាប់ពីថ្ងៃនេះរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃទី31ខែមករាឆ្នាំ2021កាន់តែពិសេសសម្រាប់ការទិញថ្នាក់សិក្សាចំនួន4ក្នុងខែតែមួយនឹងទទួលបានសេវាធានារ៉ាប់រងអាយុជីវិតរយៈពេល1ឆ្នាំពេញដែលមានតម្លៃ10លានរៀលពីក្រុមហ៊ុន Forteliteព័ត៌មានលម្អិតសូមទំនាក់ទំនងមក Page E-School Cambodia ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ090 787 999 E-School ផ្ដល់ចំណេះជំនាញនិងចំណូលសូមអរគុណ
Welcome back to E-School Cambodia. Welcome to Diploma in English for Empowerment and Proficiency. And in this video, we're going to use this book, Reading and Vocabulary Development, Cause and Effect 3. This is the third book from, this is a series book. So we have 1, 2, and this is number 3. And we also have 4. So it has 4 books. And today, we are going to talk about Unit 1. So the Unit 1 in this book is all about explorer. So we're going to talk about a country or a continent and some people who explore in that country. Okay, so the first slide is this one. It's a map. Are you familiar with this map or are you familiar with this country or continent? This is a very big country. So, do you think Australia is smaller or larger than your country? So, this is the map of Australia. So, what else do you know about Australia? Have you been to Australia? Me? Not yet. How about you? Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about the history or the explorer from the country of Australia. And this is one of its places. So this is how it looks like. One of the places in Australia. And we're going to talk about the 2 explorers. So Burke and Wills. This is Burke and this is Wills. They are the first explorer in the country of Australia. So if you have your book in your app, soft copy of this book, you can search for it and you can read. So since book is about reading and vocabulary development, we're going to read this article or story about Burke and Wills. They are the explorer from Australia. So I want you to practice your reading, your pronunciation. And also I want you to develop your vocabulary because this book is all about reading and vocabulary development. So it is important that you improve your reading first. So let's read this article or story about these 2 explorers. So the title of our article is Burke and Wills Across Australia. So you can repeat after me or you can read with me. Australia is a huge country, and the outback, or the Australian word for the interior of the country. So they called it outback, inside, interior of that country is desert. In some years, it rains only 8 centimeters in the outback. So inside the country, sometimes it rains. But in other years, rainstorms turn the desert into sandy swamps. So the desert, if it is rain, it turns into sandy swamps. Until the 18th century, only Aborigines lived in Australia. These are the first people who lived in Australia. When Europeans went there to live, they built towns on the coast. So the coast is near in the sea. However, in the 1850s, people began thinking more about the interior. So they're planning to go inside of the country. In 1860, Robert O'Hara Burke, a police officer from Ireland, was chosen to lead an expedition across the continent from south to north. Okay, so please read after me, or you can read with me. He took with him William and John Wills and 11 other men, camels, horses, and enough supplies for a year and a half. So they're going to an expedition for 1 year and a half. They left Melbourne, one of the places in Australia, for the Gulf of Carpentaria on August 20. Winter in the southern hemisphere. So there are words that has an underline and they are in bold. So we're going to explain that later. The expedition had problems from the beginning. Burke had no experience in the outback, so he is new. He doesn't have any experience. The man fought and would not follow orders, so his people is not following him. Twice they left some of their supplies so that they could move faster, and later sent one of the men, William Wright, back for them. So they left their food supplies. It's really dangerous because they will get hungry if they finish their food supplies. Finally, a small group led by Burke moved on ahead of the others to a river named Cooper's Creek. Are you following? And set up their base camp. They were halfway across the continent, but it was summer now. So summer is hot, with very hot weather and sandstorms. They waited a month for Wright, and then Burke decided that 4 from his small group with 3 months' supplies should travel the 1,250 kilometers to the north coast as quickly as possible. They told the others to wait for them at Cooper's Creek. The journey across the desert was very difficult, but at the end of January, they reached the Flinders River near the Gulf of Carpentaria. They started the return journey, but now it was the rainy season, and traveling was slow and even more difficult than on their trip north. They did not have enough food, and the men became hungry and sick. Then one of them died. Some of the camels died or were killed for food, so the situation became harder. Finally, on April 21, they arrived back at the Cooper's Creek, only to find that no one was there. The rest of the expeditions had left the day before because they thought Burke must be dead, so they left. The men continued south, but without enough food, both Burke and Wills died. So we'll see who else left. Aborigines helped the last man who was still alive. So there is still one man who is still alive. And a search party found him in September 1861. He was half crazy from hunger and loneliness. So the last paragraph, there were many reasons that the expedition did not go as planned. It had an inexperienced leader. The men made bad decisions. Some did not follow orders and they did not get along. But it was the first expedition to cross Australia, and Burke and Wills are still known as heroes of exploration. So this was the first expedition across the Australia. Okay, so we have here words that has underlined and bold. So we're going to look for the meaning of these words. Okay, first, this is an additional words for your vocabularies. So, vocabs here, outback, meaning Australian word for interior. So they have Australian word, outback. Orders, orders is commands. So, turn into, which means to change. Aborigines, a person or people that has been in the country for the earliest time. They were the first people. We call them Aborigines. Next, built, past participle of build. Chosen, past participle of choose. Expedition, journey undertaken by a group of people. So supplies, food and other necessary things. We call it supplies. Hemisphere, half of the earth or any other sphere. Okay, we have more. Finally. Finally means at last. Base camp, a camp from which mountaineering expedition set out or from which a particular activity can be carried out. So base camp. Halfway, which means middle. Search party, a group of people who look for someone who is lost. So if you're lost, we're going to have some search party so we can find you. Loneliness, sadness because one has no friends or company, or for example, if you're alone, you feel lonely. Get along, which means be friendly. Heroes of exploration, person who is admired for their courage. So, Burke and Wills were called heroes of exploration. Okay, so I have here some exercises that we're going to answer. These exercises came from your book, so we're going to need whiteboard for just a few words. Can you see? Can see, okay. So, here, the first activity. We have here the sentences and we need to fill in the blanks. Okay? So, here, I just read the instruction first. In this book, difficult words are repeated several times in the exercises. These words are also repeated and reviewed in other lessons. Okay? So, in this exercises, we will have a vocabulary exercise. We're going to write the correct word in each blank. Use a word only once. Use capital letters where if they are necessary. Okay? So what are the words given in the box? So, first, we have here, okay, this one. Exploration. Can you see? Can you see? Okay, next. Finally. So we'll choose from these words, Aborigines. Okay? And then we have built. Okay, built. These are the choices. Next, we have orders. These are the vocabulary from the previous slides. Orders, gets along. Gets along. Next, we have hemisphere. Hemisphere. Then we have expedition. Base. And we have 3 more. Can I write here? Can I write here? Okay, halfway. Halfway, which means middle, loneliness. Heroes. Okay, so we're going to answer these sentences and we'll get words from that one. Okay, so first, you can read with me or you can read after me. The captain of a ship gives blank and the sailors must follow them. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to think your answer. Okay? The captain of a ship gives order, gives blank, and the sailor must follow them. So what is your answer? Get your answer from the words over there that I write. So the answer is number 1, I will write here. From the word follow. I mean, that is the hint. So, the answer is orders. Can you see the word? Number 2. So, let's read first with the answer number 1. The captain of a ship gives orders and the sailors must follow them. Okay, number 2. For number 2, in baseball, a player hits the ball and runs to first blank. What is the answer? In baseball, a player hits the ball and runs to first blank. What's your answer? The answer is base. So, number 2 is base. Check, check. Okay, so I'm going to read again. In baseball, a player hits the ball and runs to first base. Number 3. The first Australians are called blank. What is the answer? The first Australians are called blank. What's your answer? The answer is Aborigines. So they are the first people in Australia. Aborigines. Okay? So I'm going to read again. The first Australians are called Aborigines. Okay? Number 4. Number 4, most of the earth has been explored. Now, we are in the age of space, blank, searching for more information about the stars, the moon, and the other planets besides Earth. So, what is the answer in number 4? So, we're finished with orders, base, Aborigines. Do you have your answer now? So, the answer is exploration. Okay, I'm going to read again. Most of the earth has been explored. Now we are in the age of space exploration, searching for more information about stars, the moon, and other planets besides Earth. Number 5, Komiko. Komiko is a name. Blank well with everyone. She is always nice and never fights with people. So what do you think is the answer? What is the answer? Exploration here. Okay, the answer is gets along. Gets along. Okay, again. Again, Komiko gets along well with everyone. She is always nice and never fights with people. Okay, number 6. We blank our new home from the wood and stone on our land. We blank our new home from the wood and stone in our land. So what's the answer? Number 6. The answer is gets along, finish. The answer for number 6 is built. Built. Built is here. Okay? Let's read again number 6. We built our new home from the wood and stone on our land. Next, let's go to number 7. Blank is a common feeling when you are far from your friends and family. So what do you feel if you are far from your friends and family? The answer is loneliness, right? So loneliness must be capital letter because that is the first word from the sentence. So number 7 is loneliness. Number 8. I'll check the loneliness first here. Number 8. Let's read the sentence in number 8. Asia is in the northern blank. Asia is in the northern blank. The answer is northern hemisphere. Hemisphere. So check. All right. Now let's go to number 9 and 10. Number 9. The writer Jane Austen said blank doings never prosper. I think she meant that it's important to complete things. From the word complete. If you don't complete your things, what do you call? The answer is halfway. Halfway, because it's only half. Sorry again. So, halfway. So, it is important to complete your task or you complete your work. Next, number 10. Oh, let's read the whole sentences first with the answer. The writer Jane Austen said, halfway doings never prosper. I think she meant that it's important to complete things. Next, number 10. People who win in the Olympic Games are blank in their countries. This is easy. If you win, you will be famous, you will be popular. So they called you heroes. Okay, heroes. So, I'll read number 10 again. People who win in the Olympic Games are heroes in their country. Okay, I hope you answered the same with me. And I hope you practice your reading too. Now, let's proceed. This is a true or false. Alright? True or false. Before that, you can read first while I'm going to erase this one. So, I'll give you 5 seconds to answer in each number. Okay? So, first, read the sentences. And then we're going to answer together. Okay, let's start. Number 1. You will only answer true or false. Okay, I will read the instruction first so it's clear. So, we're going to write T, letter T only, if the sentence is true. Write F if it is false. If it is not true, we called it false. If a statement is false, we're going to change it to make it true. Or we can explain if you want. An asterisk, this one is an asterisk. Before an item means that the answer is either interference or an opinion. Okay? So, you cannot find the answer in a sentence in the text. You have to think about the information in the text and things you already know and then decide to answer. So, we're only going to use T and F. Okay? So, number 1. Where's my... Number 1, the first Europeans in Australia built villages in the outback because there were too many Aborigines on the coast. So, where did they build their villages? Is it in the outback or in the coast for the Europeans? So, the first answer is false. Why? Number 1 is false. Because Australians built their villages on the coast, not in the outback. So the answer is F, false. Number 2, the Burke and Wills expedition crossed Australia from south to north. Is it true? They start from south going to north? If you can't remember, you can review the article or you can read it again. So the answer for number 2 is true. So we're going to write letter T. Okay, number 3. For number 3, December is the summer month in Australia. It has an asterisk here, which means you can think on your own knowledge, stock knowledge. It's okay if you are wrong or right, it's fine. So December is the summer month in Australia. True or false? The answer is true. So I researched about this. The summertime in Australia is December, January, and February. So number 4, much of the interior of Australia is swampy all year long. Is it correct? All year? The answer is false, because sometimes they have summer time, so it's not swampy all year long. Next, number 5, 11 men crossed Australia with Burke and Wheels. Is it true? They were 11? Yes, it's true. So the answer is letter T. Okay, number 6. Burke and Wheels did not have enough food for their journey back to Cooper's Creek because the rain slowed them down. Is it true or false? They don't have enough food because of the rain. It slowed them down. So the answer is true. 7. Until 8 only. Number 7. The Aborigines could help the last man still alive because they understood how to live in the desert. So the people there, the first people in the Australia, they helped the only man who is still alive. Do you know why? Because they understood how to live in the desert. Is it true or false? I think it's true, because maybe the Aborigines there are kind, are nice people. So they helped the only man who survived in this expedition. So my answer is true. How about you? Do you have your own opinion? Number 8. For number 8, Burke was a good leader for this expedition. Is he good or not? The answer is false. Why? Because the expedition was not successful. And it was mentioned there that Burke was an inexperienced leader, and their men were fighting with everyone. So that's the answer. Okay, now let's go to the next exercise. We're going to go through this. So this one, we're going to learn 2 verbs. 2 word verbs. They are 2. Look at this word. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's why 2 word verbs. So these words, we can found this in the article that we have read. So turn into, which means to change. Okay? Get along, which means be friendly. Break down, to stop going or it stopped working. Call on, ask someone to speak. So you can call on. Put away, put something in the place where it belongs. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should use these words in your daily conversation. So that's how you practice your new vocabularies. Include them in your daily conversation. So these are the activities. Alright, so we have here the English 2 words. And we're going to fill in the blanks with the right words. Okay? So use the correct verb form. So I'm going to erase this one. So we're going to answer it together. This is how many? 1 to 5 only because we have 5 verbs. Okay, number 1, let's answer. So number 1, our washing machine blank yesterday and I couldn't finish washing my clothes. So what do you think is the answer? Our washing machine blank yesterday. So is it turn into get along, break down, call on, or put away? My answer is break down. Okay, break down, which means stop working. So, our washing machine break down yesterday and I couldn't finish washing my clothes. Understand? Next, number 2, Tommy and his little brother don't blank very well. They fight about something almost every day. So what do you think is the answer in number 2? Is it get along, break down, call on, or put away? The answer is get along. Get along. Why? Let's read the sentence. Let's put get along in the blank. Tommy and his little brother don't get along very well. Why? Because they fight about something almost every day. Next, number 3. Ali knew the answer when the teacher blanked him. So, the answer is call on. Call on, which means ask someone to speak. So, the answer in number 3 is call on. Okay? Let's read together. So, Ali knew the answer when the teacher called on him. Number 4, it was rainy this morning, but now it has blank a beautiful day. Sorry guys, this is day. So what is your answer? Number 4, it was rainy in this morning, but now it has blank a beautiful day. So we're finished with get along, break down, call on. So you choose from turn into or put away. So the closest answer is turn into. Number 4, turn into. Okay? So, it was rainy this morning, but now it has turned into a beautiful day. Number 5, Mary doesn't usually blank her clothes. She just leaves them on a chair or bed. So, we only have one word left, which is put away. So, this is the answer. Put away. Put away. See? Next, let's read. Mary doesn't usually put away her clothes. She just leaves them on a chair or the bed. Okay, did you got it? Now, excuse me, we're almost done. In this activity, we're going to use the article a, an, and the. Are you ready? Excuse me. Okay. So I will read the instruction first, and then we're going to answer it together. Okay. So there are so many rules about articles that it is easier just to get used to them by practicing than to learn all the rules. So, however, you will learn a few of the rules later in this book. So, here are some sentences or parts of sentences from the text, from the article. Then we're going to put article in the blank. Okay? So, in number 1, we only going to use a, an, and the. In other years, rainstorms turn blank desert into sandy swamps. So what do you think is the answer? A, an, or the? In other years, rainstorms turn a desert into sandy swamps. So that's the answer. Answer for number 1 is A. Number 2. Until blank 18th century, only Aborigines lived in Australia. So what is the answer? Until A, 18th century. How about an? Until an 18th century? Or maybe the? Until the 18th century, only Aborigines lived in Australia. So the answer is the. Number 3. In 1860s, Robert O'Hara Burke, blank, police officer from Ireland, was chosen to lead blank expedition across blank continent from south to north. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 blank. Number 3, the first blank in 1860, a Robert O'Hara Burke, so a police officer from Ireland. So it's still an a. Was chosen to lead an expedition. So an. And the last blank is across the continent. So the. Number 4. He took with him William John Wills and 11 other men, blank camels, blank horses, and enough supplies for blank year and blank half. Okay, I will answer. Number 4. He took with him William John Wills and 11 other men, a camels, a horses, and enough supplies for the year and a half. So, a camels, a horses for the year and a half. Next, number 5. Blank expedition had problems from blank beginning. So, the expedition had problems from the beginning. So, since the is the first word, we're going to write it with capital letter T. The. Okay, again. The. And the next one is the also. Okay? Next, last one. Number 6. Blank men fought and would not follow blank orders. The answer is the men fought and would not follow the orders. So since the is the first word, we're going to write in the capital letter. So, last one, number 6. The men fought and would not follow the orders. Okay? So, the author says, it is important, or it is easier just to use this article by practicing than learning the rules. So it is important to use this in a sentence. Now, let's have your activity, your exercise. Excuse me. So, you are the last person alive from the Burke and Wales expedition. It is September 1861 and the search party has just found you. Tell them what happened to you. Make an article using in this paragraph, or make a story using this paragraph. Okay? Number 2, you are the leader of another expedition across Australia. Explain what you will do differently. So make a story or an article about this also and send in my email. So that's all for this lesson. Unit 1, thank you for watching, guys. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!
All Sato ឆ្នាំសិក្សាថ្មី2020-2021 សាលា e-school Cambodia សូមជម្រាបជូនដំណឹងដល់សិស្សានុសិស្សអាណាព្យាបាលនិងមហាជនទូទៅឲ្យបានជ្រាបថាការសិក្សាតាមអនឡាញក្នុង app e-school មកដល់ពេលនេះមានអ្នកប្រើប្រាស់ចំនួន1លានអ្នកហើយក្នុងនោះមុខវិជ្ជាជាច្រើនត្រូវបានរៀបចំជាង200ថ្នាក់ច្រើនជាង 20000 វីដេអូថ្នាក់ចំណេះដឹងទូទៅពីថ្នាក់ទី1ដល់ថ្នាក់ទី12ថ្នាក់ភាសាបរទេសថ្នាក់កុំព្យូទ័រថ្នាក់ជំនាញខ្លីដើម្បីបងប្អូនទទួលបានការសិក្សាបន្ថែមនៅផ្ទះតាមអនឡាញ e-school Cambodia នឹងធ្វើការបញ្ចុះតម្លៃពិសេស 70% គ្រប់មុខវិជ្ជាចាប់ពីថ្ងៃនេះរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃទី31 ខែមករាឆ្នាំ 2021 កាន់តែពិសេសសម្រាប់ការទិញថ្នាក់សិក្សាចំនួន4ក្នុងខែតែមួយនឹងទទួលបានសេវាធានារ៉ាប់រងអាយុជីវិតរយៈពេល1ឆ្នាំពេញដែលមានតម្លៃ10លានរៀលពីក្រុមហ៊ុន Fortelite ព័ត៌មានលម្អិតសូមទំនាក់ទំនងមក Page e-school Cambodia ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ 090 787 999 e-school ផ្ដល់ចំណេះជំនាញនិងចំណូលសូមអរគុណដោយសាររូបអ្នកគឺប៉ាហើយនឹងម៉ាក់អ្នកផ្ដល់ឲ្យកូនលោកតស៊ូគ្រប់ឧបសគ្គញើសហូរសស្រាក់ពេញខ្លួនដើម្បីរកលុយឲ្យកូនបានរៀននឹងគេខ្ញុំមិនភ្លេចដំបូន្មានគ្រូអើយចេញតស៊ូនៅក្នុងជីវិតបង្ហាញនៅផ្លូវគំនិតដឹកនាំជីវិតដើម្បីទៅរកជោគជ័យអរគុណវេលាកន្លងដែលបានឲ្យខ្ញុំស្គាល់អ្នក e-school ផ្ដល់ភាពជឿជាក់អ្នកតែងគិតគូរទោះបីវេលាដើរលឿនរហ័ងតែអ្នកធ្វើឲ្យជីវិតខ្ញុំផ្លាំងប្ដូរហើយខ្ញុំនៅតែបន្តឲ្យបានជោគជ័យ
ដោយសាររូបអ្នកគឺបាហើយនឹងម៉ាក់អ្នកផ្ដល់ឲ្យកូនលោកតស៊ូគ្រប់ឧបសគ្គញើសហូរសស្រាក់ពេញខ្លួនដើម្បីរកលុយឲ្យកូនបានរៀននឹងគេខ្ញុំចាំមិនភ្លេចដំបូន្មានគ្រូអើយចេញតស៊ូនៅក្នុងជីវិតបងហាត់បងហាញនៅផ្លូវគំនិតដឹកនាំជីវិតដើម្បីទៅរកជោគជ័យអរគុណវេលាកន្លងដែលបានឲ្យខ្ញុំស្គាល់អ្នក School ប្រាប់ភាពជាជាងអ្នកតែងគិតគូរទោះបីវេលាដើរលឿនរហ័ងតែអ្នកធ្វើឲ្យជីវិតខ្ញុំផ្លាំងប្ដូរហើយខ្ញុំនៅតែបន្តឲ្យបានជោគជ័យអរគុណវេលាកន្លងដែលបានឲ្យខ្ញុំស្គាល់អ្នក School ប្រាប់ភាពជាជាងអ្នកតែងគិតគូរទោះបីវេលាដើរលឿនរហ័ងតែអ្នកធ្វើឲ្យជីវិតខ្ញុំផ្លាំងប្ដូរហើយខ្ញុំនៅតែបន្តឲ្យបានជោគជ័យ